Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness there is no God but Allah, who came to us in the persons of Master Fard Muhammad. And I bear witness that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is indeed thine exalted Christ. And I furthermore indeed bear witness that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is our big brother, warner, friend, teacher, and guide. I greet you all in the nation, greeted words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Brother Albert Muhammad and the Let Us Make Man family, as always, family, we continuously thank you for your support. We thank you for taking a few moments of your time to tune into the videos, read our posts, support our cause, our efforts in the plight of the black community. We could never thank you enough. As always, family, we like to take a few moments of your time and not take up much of your time in addressing a session or two in regards to this particular session, the death of Black America. You are being forced to drink your own blood. Before I get started on this particular session, and I promise you, family, this is not going to take long at all, I want to begin this session with a verse from the Holy Quran, if it's all right with you. In Surah 4, titled Al-Nisa, the woman, section of verses 164, section 23, verses 165 to be exact. And it quotes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, messengers, bearers of good news and warners, so that the people may have no plea against Allah after the coming of messengers, and Allah is ever mighty. I'm going to read that one more time. Surah 4, Al-Nisa, the woman, section 23, verses 165. Messengers, bearers of good news and warners, so that the people may have no plea against Allah after the coming of messengers, and Allah is ever mighty and wise. I wanted to begin this session with that particular verse because it speaks directly to Allah, and when Allah sends messengers to his people, those who are suffering in a world of evil and wicked doers. In light of the ongoing assault verbally against the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam, 85% of these verbal assaults are coming from people who look like you and I, YouTubers, self-proclaimed conscious brothers and sisters. They have chosen to attack the messenger of Allah, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And for those who have just came on, this video started with Surah 4, Al-Nisa, the woman, section 23, verses 165, speaking of Allah and the messengers that Allah sent to guide his people. Allah says in this particular verse, specifically, right? So that the people have no plea against Allah. I take that to mean that once you reject the messengers of Allah, then whatever wrath fall down upon you, you will not be able to say that you did not have a warner in your midst. I'm going somewhere with this. When we speak on the death of Black America, what we are seeing taking place right now in America was prophesied and predicted by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because God came in person and taught Elijah Muhammad for 3 years and 4 months, preparing him that he would prepare us for what we are seeing taking place throughout America. During slavery, and when the KKK actually came into existence, they have killed less black men and women than have been killed over the last 12 years. Think about it. And if you have a problem with it, research it. What we are seeing now, if you are black in America, male or female, you are subjected to be murdered. As a matter of fact, you are a target of unjust crimes all throughout America. Why is this happening to our people? Right? Go look at the Quran, go look at the Bible, and what happened to the people that rejected the prophets and the messengers and the helpers of the prophets. See? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was left for us as a divine reminder, a warner, a gift from God and his messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, that black people stand some sort of chance to survive the onslaught and the war of Armageddon that has already taken place. And the reason at first I was not going to do this video tonight. I was struggling with, should I do this video or not? Because we have seen these things taking place over the last 12 years like night and day. Either it's a black man, a black woman, or a black child shot down like dogs. As a matter of fact, worse than dogs. See? All of these so-called conscious, listen to me good, family. Listen to me good. You have to understand and see the distraction and the hidden hand behind what's actually going on in Black America today. All of these people that came out over the last 60 days, black ones, and decided that they would challenge the Nation of Islam and the leadership and the guidance of Minister Farrakhan would be a distraction so that our open enemy can kill us on sight and walk away with it. Huh? How does this happen? There's such a great level of self-hatred and lack of love for one another among black people in America We are to a point, many of us, I would say 85%, cannot stand each other for no legitimate reason. See? So when God-man stands up, he gives the so-called self-appointed conscious so-called brothers and sisters the platform to attack Allah's messenger and think that it would be all right. But when they plan, please believe me, Allah indeed is the best of planners. Huh? Just last Thursday in Houston, Texas, a black man was in a scuffle with another black man. The police pulls up. Now think about what's going on in the midst of all of this emotion that's taking place. He begins to approach the police with his pants below his knees, showing no threat, and was shot and killed. Sacramento, California. Stephen Clark. And pardon me if I didn't say the name right. Young brother. On his way to his grandmother's house, running through the backyard for whatever reasons. You and I will probably not know the facts of this based on everything that transpired. And he was shot at. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. This young man was shot and hit 20 times and murdered. I saw a gun, is what they said. Right? And come to find out, all the young brother had was a cell phone. The death of black America is what we're talking about. All the young brother had was a cell phone. Shot 20 times. The body was riddled so bad, according to the reports, and there's so many different ones out there right now, that they could not even perform a Muslim janazah. That's how bad the body was riddled. Hit with 20 bullets. And let me tell you something about the shooters. They're not cops. These are hitmen. As they begin shooting at this young man, in the mindset of both of these individuals that were shooting at this young man, is to see who would hit him first and who would hit him the most. So it was a competition going on. Yeah, I know I sound crazy. I might sound crazy, but ain't nothing crazy about what I'm saying. When you know and you study your open enemy. So as they were shooting and he was trying to get away from the bullets, they were trying to see who would hit him first and who would hit him with the most bullets. See, what you don't know about these cowards, they celebrate these killings when they take place. They brag about these types of killings. They go out, many of them, with the sole purpose of itching for the opportunity to use their service or their firearm. Right? This young man was murdered worse than wild game. They shot Cecil the lion one time and killed Cecil. And the whole damn world went crazy And the cracker didn't get no time. He was not brought back to the gaming park in Africa where he did the killing. And he's in America living lavishly. See? Why do we believe that America and her judicial system will serve us justice? Time after time after time after time, we have been piping to you. Separation is our only option. This is indeed the final call for black people in America. You will ultimately return back into physical and spiritual and mental slavery. They will come and occupy your community to the point where they will be sending you food packages. This is the game plan. The current president of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump, is solely responsible for the killing of Stephen Clark and our young brother in Texas. Well, why do you say that, brother? How you going to say Donald Trump is responsible? It's simple. Do we listen? This man has went before various different police agencies, sheriff's department, spoke to members of each department, giving them the green light to shoot and kill on sight, and don't worry about the results, because we, meaning his entourage, his administration, got they back. That's exactly what he has said openly. See? But again, these things are happening to black people in America because God has sent and raised one up for us, among us, in the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. But we reject Farrakhan. We disrespect Farrakhan. So we're forced to drink our own blood in America now. I watched the grandmother plead and cry. But these crackers don't care nothing about your tears. And they will walk. Justice is not something that you beg for. Justice is something that you take. In the 10,000 fearless organization the Nation of Islam set up was for the sole purpose for black men and women to come together and unite under one umbrella, that we can establish a safe haven in our own community, even if we have to rid our community of the so-called whatever you want to call them that runs in our community, and do the same thing. See? So I'm saying to you, this is not a surprise. They don't care, meaning the judicial department, the justice department. There is no justice for black people in America. You could take it or let it alone. I am a black man in America that can be shot tonight, and the only thing that you will say is that was wrong, or no justice, no peace. They are well aware of these slogans we wear and we call upon and we scream out. T-shirts and hats. We go immediately instead of joining on to our own kind, locking down our community. running these crackers with guns out of our community, putting walls in our community that won't allow them to enter our community and deal with our own criminals in our community, even if it means in taking the head of our own if they commit crimes of hate against us. We have to figure this out. And crying to the white man in America is not the answer, because they're not listening. In Louisiana, they just made it clear. No charges. Huh? No charges. See? Where's the Jews? Come on, y'all. Come on now. Let's talk about the Jews for a second. See, you came out full force because Farrakhan put you in your place on doing Savior's Day and called you out there once again and said, here I am. So you attacked Farrakhan. You even got Negroes to get on the bandwagon. But I don't hear a damn thing from none of them Jews or them Negroes about the killing of this young man here in Sacramento, California. Shot 20 times, unarmed. Black man shot and murdered, pants down to his knees, showing the police that he posed no threat. He has no weapons. See? White people, you could take it or let it alone. And this ain't got nothing to do with racism. I am not a racist at all. I deal with people how they deal with me. They are preparing to go to war. And I'm talking about the common white person that you work with every day. They are training in the hills and the mountains of America to survive this war when it takes place. And guess what? We will lose. We will lose. The reason why we will lose is due to the self-hatred and the lack of love for one another. We can't even sit a hot minute and listen to the man of God as he's trying to guide us and on a path that will give us separation and set us free to do for self and establish our own police force in our community to deal with those who want to commit heinous crimes against us, despite what they look like. We don't want to do that. We would rather take the time and entertain foolish men and foolish women who are on YouTube or go on some sort of talk show and call themselves calling the man of God out. And then some of y'all get in y'all feelings because we get in our feelings. Because we love that man that much that we decide to stand up. You got even some of us on the inside that get in their goddamn feelings and try to tell us what we wrong at for standing up for the man that we believe in, even if we don't do it in the manner that he does it in. We have not met his level of consciousness and righteousness to be able to do so. This is why he is the master teacher. See? I'm talking about the death of Black America. This is not a game. This is not a game. Huh? If they can shoot at a man and hit him 20 times and laugh about it, because that's exactly what they did. They already had a plan to justify the shooting. So it will become justifiable homicide. And there's not a cracker or a Negro in law that will be able to get black people justice, because Allah set the tone for that. Allah set the tone that you will have to depend on solely the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. As is taught today by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we could take it or let it alone. I put up a post about 3 individuals a couple days ago. I made the post simple. Huh? I said these individuals versus the boogeyman, and left it alone. Because I don't have time to entertain foolish people who come up against the man of God and couldn't even stand in the ranks of the man of God and do half the work and endure half the suffering that Farrakhan has and is enduring, that we have some sort of chance to get out of this ratchet situation that we in. So all we're going to do is march and preach until there's another one. And then there's another one. They are killing more now than they actually killed during slavery. Because during slavery, the slave masters really didn't want their slaves killed, because they figured if you kill them, there would be nobody there to do the work. They just wanted them caught and brought back. But now, the slave master, Donald Trump, and his administration, and the former slave master before him, Obama, and his administration, has given these people the green light. Oh, you didn't like that. I understand. Huh? When Trayvon Martin was shot and killed, Obama came before Black America, and he appealed to Black America to give the justice system a chance. And right after Trayvon Martin, there were many more that was gunned down unjustly by the wicked slave catchers in America that you call police officers or law enforcers, and yet no, there's still no justice. No? You cannot run and sit in some sort of political seat in America and think that you are going to bust up the system that they put together. They will kill you first, as they killed our sister in New York, a prominent black judge. She was Muslim, right? And she stood up against the hypocrisy of the police department, and her body came floating up the Hudson. And to this day, nobody has been charged. She paid the ultimate price for standing up. Right? This is how wicked these people are. This is how wicked these people are, that they will kill their own people to stop us for doing what we're doing. You have to look at the reality of God and what's really going on among us, family. See? This is what's happening. In the Holy Quran, Surah 4, I got to read this verse again, because this verse talks to the reality of this entire session that we're doing right now. Section 23, verses 165, and it reads, messengers, bearers of good news and warners, right? So that the people may have no plea against Allah after the coming of the messengers. Huh? Allah addresses the entire world. Huh? So you won't be able to say that you wasn't warned. So as you entertain these Negroes and these hypocrites who are actually distracting you, they got you trying to argue and fight with the Nation of Islam while these crackers are slaughtering our people. Because they know that the Nation of Islam is the last thing standing in the way of ultimate takeover of black people in America. And once they ruin the Nation of Islam, you will turn back on your heels to your slave master and the technology that they put in the Bible to keep you passive and submissive. See? They are hoping and praying that Farrakhan dies off so that they can put up this mirage that the Nation of Islam is over. Oh Allah. Oh Allah. You're so sadly mistaken. See, Allah has prepared Farrakhan. And Farrakhan is preparing us, the believer, to be saviors of our people, not harmers or killers of our people. That's not what we're about. Of course, you can get General Seti and what's this other guy named? I don't know. You can get these people to talk foolish all they want. Young Pharaoh. It's a baby. It's a baby. He don't have a clue. It's a baby. But that's all a distraction to get us to fight and kill one another. This is why I said they are going up against the boogeyman. Because they're trying to fight the unseen. They don't have a clue of the power of Master Fard Muhammad. See? There's a reality to what we're talking about. Brother Duke and X, thank you. If the video is not playing loud, family, I do apologize for any interruptions. Inshallah, the video will be available once we're done, and you can go back to the video if you're interested in hearing the bottom line of where we're trying to go with this. But I think that we've already made that point, because it doesn't take long for what we do here with the Let Us Make Man program. See? When someone kills your family like that, the Quran gives the Muslim the right, the sole right, to respond in whatever manner they choose so. See? These cowards that pulled the trigger knew exactly what they were doing. They shot 20 times to see who was going to hit this young man first and how many times, and they count the bullets. This is what they do. This is, if you think I'm playing, you got another thing coming. This is a reality of what's really happening. They killing our men, women, and children, and there's no accountability at all. Right? I listened to the cry of the grandmother of Stephen Clark. But what she doesn't realize is her tears are falling on deaf ears. Exactly, CJ. Target practice. Her tears are falling on deaf ears. Black people in America are the only nationality in America right now, as you and I talk, that are being slaughtered worse than cattle. And there's no justice at all. We must unite. Put aside our differences, whatever it is. We don't have time to argue with people that wants to badger the minister, even though it hurts to hear some of the things that we hear. Yes, it does. The reason why it hurts so much, because when you've been around Minister Farrakhan and you have worked under Minister Farrakhan for so long, and you understand and you know who that man is, that's just like your mom or your dad, your physical mom or your dad, that someone goes and attack, you're going to go in defense mode. That's natural for you to do. You're going to feel something. It is natural for you to feel. So yes, we do feel some kind of way when the minister is being disrespected, called out his name by black people that look like you and I. They're going on national syndicates on TV, talk shows, and want to challenge the minister. But they don't call none of us who are worthy enough to put to shame the foolishness that they taught with just a few words. You don't have to have a long conversation with ignorance. It's not necessary. At least I don't think so. I just don't believe that you have to literally have a long conversation with ignorance. You could just put it to shame right away and shut it down. Because most of the people that go at the minister are talking out of pure ignorance. They just don't know. That's all ignorance means. Lack of knowledge. They just don't really know. They don't believe in what we believe in terms of God coming in person, in Master Fard Muhammad in the person, to save that which was lost. Many black people, as you can see now, don't even believe that we are worthy enough as a people for God to even come and visit us. Because we've been taught of a mystery God for over 400 years. So for somebody to wake you up the next day and tell you that God came in person, he came in sinful flesh to condemn sin in the flesh. You're not going to believe that. No, you're going to fight that to the letter before you give yourself an opportunity to at least research the work of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad after Master Fard Muhammad went away. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a 3rd grade education going into 4th grade, right? He was able to build a nation within the nation of righteous men and women. All of those that you see, Malcolm, Malcolm, Muhammad Ali, Minister Farrakhan, they all came after Elijah Muhammad. They all was nurtured under the bosom of Elijah Muhammad. So how is it that a man with just a 3rd grade education is able to raise a nation of black people to a higher level of consciousness from 1934 to 1975? And build a nation with inside of a nation. And this is why the United States government feared and arrested the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because they couldn't fathom this kind of nation existing within their nation, knowing that it poses a serious threat. If we would get our people out of that coma my brother C.J. Moore just mentioned. Walking dead, man. We get on YouTube and we talk strong and hard about a man that loves you, man. See? A man that cares for you. We talk strong and hard against, but have no sound background to what we say. It's just out of pure ignorance. You are being forced to drink your own blood. And the pouring of the black blood in America is like a water fountain on full blast right now. And then it's not going to get shut off no time soon until we unite, separate, and do for self. We're over 22 million now in America. Over 22 million. We spend over $1 trillion a year, give or take, in corporate America. There are so many different countries that will do business with us, trade with us. They did it with the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. With the little that they had, they will do it with us if we would only adhere to the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And you don't have to be a member of the Nation of Islam to become a member of the 10,000 feelers in your community. All you got to do is get trained through the Nation of Islam, because we have to know how to deal with our people. We're not killers of our people, but we fight with those who fight with us, to set the record straight. See? Other than that, family, the blood will continue to pour, and the tears will continue to pour. The pain and the hurt and the sorrow will continue. Any loss of life in such an unjust and a savage way is painful, and it hurts to the core. I felt the pain of Stephen Clark's brother when he went to the city council and disrupted the meeting. I felt his pain, knowing that his little brother or his brother got gunned down like he did. That hurts. But they don't care nothing about that. They got a brigade of men and women that's waiting to kill more of us. And in even a worse way. These are blood suckers. These are born killers. They are trained to be killers now. They're not trained to protect and serve black people. They're trained to protect the property that is owned by the businessmen and women in your community. The police is not there to protect you. You must understand this. The protect and serve slogan does not apply to you and I. They're only in your community to protect the property of the businessmen and women that own property in your community. That is what they're there for. And this is why they will shoot you now. They're being told to shoot you the way they are. And it's coming from the top. See? This is what we're dealing with among our people. We have to realize before it's far too late, because they're going to go back to raping your daughters in front of you and your sons, because they are cannibals. They're going to go back to kidnapping your wives and your mothers, because they are cannibals. And if you think that we're crazy in the Nation of Islam, you keep on believing that. And you just count, and you just watch the body count continue to rise. From Yusuf Hawkins. I don't know if you know who Yusuf Hawkins was. But from Yusuf Hawkins on down to this brother here, Stephen Clark. You just watch the body count continue to rise until black people say enough is enough. And you have to hold the shooters accountable. And whatever manner that God guides you in, because only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, glory be to his name, will guide us in the direction we need to go to obtain the justice that we need. So unfortunately, the Clark family has took a tragic loss. But this judicial system, especially under the Trump administration, will not appeal or hear none of their cries. They are actually encouraging these police officers and sheriff officers to continue to shoot the way they shooting. Black children missing by the thousand. CJ Moore is on it tonight, man. Thank you, big bro. There's so much going on. We don't have time to debate with ignorance. Because as these people come up, young Pharaoh, General Seti, and look at the names they got. General Seti, young Pharaoh. These are all distractions for us. This is why it's so easy for them to kill us and get away with it, because we are so busy fighting one another. See? But the people that love what the Nation of Islam do will not allow those type of distractions to interfere with our work. They're just not going to do it. They're going to continue to support and back their brothers and sisters in the field, representing the Nation of Islam under the guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Close your eyes and weep not, family, because there will be more killed within the next 24 hours by these savages that work in law enforcement. And they brag and boast about these shootings. You better believe that. Inside sources share with us on how these people react when they commit these kinds of crimes. Because when you shoot that way, you know exactly what you're doing. It may have took one shot to stop that young man, if it was that necessary to shoot him. There was no return fire for them to continue to shoot like that. Now it becomes a competition. You got to see my point. You got to be able to see beyond emotions and see my point. It would only took one shot, if they were that good, to slow that brother down or stop him. But 20 shots between two officers, they had to reload. I don't think they're carrying pistols with 20 shots in it. Maybe, who knows what they're carrying. But if they had to reload, that makes it even worse. Think about it, family. Our only solution to this problem, separation. Join on to your own kind, because we are being forced to drink our own blood. Far worse now, I believe, than it was during slavery in the South, when they killed a few for whatever reasons. Now the police walks up and just shoot young black men and brutalize young black women, raping. Do you know how many young sisters are being raped in these county jails when they're being taken in there by the police, snatched off the street, that nobody knows where they're at, and they're being assaulted in these jails? Do you have a clue? Do you see how serious it is that we stand with our own and back your only avenue right now, which is the Nation of Islam? Because the Nation of Islam appears to be, at this point, the strongest outlet that you have. Not taking nothing away from nobody, but we're dealing with reality. We don't owe these crackers nothing. We don't compromise with these crackers. We tell it like it is. We got the greatest program in America. All you got to do is fall in. Tallest to the front, shortest to the rear, and support the #1 program of the Nation of Islam, the Final Call newspaper. With that being said, family, I want to thank you for taking a few moments of your time to share with your little brother on this particular session, the death of Black America. We're being forced to drink our own blood. And it's not going to stop. The faucet is going to continue to run, overflowing now, until we put aside our differences, get away from the ignorance, all the so-called self-proclaimed righteous individuals that are leading us further into darkness and away from the light, that we will stand a chance to separate and do for self. Thank you for listening. I'll leave you as I came before you. In the nation, greeted words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum, Hotep, peace. May Allah bless the Clark family and the family of my brother in Houston, Texas. But family, believe me when I tell you, within the next 24 hours, they will be killing or raping another black man or black woman in America. Assalamu alaikum.